Hello and welcome. Now today we're going to be stuffing my cash envelopes for January and working out the budget for the month. So I'm going to stuff all of my sinking funds today as well as the envelopes I bring with me on a day-to-day basis. So let's just jump straight in. So I always work with the income I made the month previously because I'm self-employed. It's just a safer way to do my setup. So I do $9,515.58 was how much I made in the month of December. I take away 25% for taxes and some business expenses. That gives me a net income of $7,136.70. Now, I am doing this budgeting system and trying to save as much as I can at the moment because I am making a really generous income, and I really want to teach myself and get into the habit of being able to save as much as possible and just create a budgeting system that will just sort of outlast time no matter like what happens in my life. Hopefully I will be able to do this to some degree, and so far I've been doing it for 2 months. I really love this system. So I try and just work with 70% of my income at the moment because I am making quite a generous amount. That's still a lot to work with. So I save 70% of it. 30% of the net income is then what I budget out. So $2,141 is how much I have from how much I made from the month previously. I take out bills, gas, and my client. I leave those in my bank just because they're expenses that do come out of my card, and it just makes sense to leave it in instead of taking it out. So if I minus these expenses from that figure, I get a total of $1,376. So that's how much I have in cash here to budget out, put into my sinking funds, and the money I spend in cash that I bring in my wallet each day. So I have that amount, but I do have some rollover from last month of $95 because I didn't spend everything that was in these envelopes. So let me just pull them out. So groceries I spent everything in, and I spent everything for my cat. I have some miscellaneous. I have $35 left over, so I'll be adding that in to what I'm going to budget. Oh, this is a little money mess over here. So that's the miscellaneous one. And then I did really well with eating out in the month of December, and I have $60 left because I budgeted $200. But yeah, I just didn't end up eating out as much, and I saved the eating out times for sort of like more special occasions a bit more. So those are all empty. So I have an extra $95 to roll over, which means in total here that I have out in cash that we're going to stuff now is $1,400, and I think it was $71, but I always drop the one because I don't work with coins. So $1,470. So let's just jump straight in. The first area is eating out. So I budget $200 for that, and as per usual, I will be putting some in my wallet and some in the hold folder. So that's $200, and I'm going to put $50 in my eating out to carry in my wallet, and then I'm going to have $150 that goes in the hold. Because I budget for the month, it does mean there's like quite a bit there. However, I don't want to be carrying like, what's that, upwards of like $500+ in my wallet. So I just put the extra $150 in here, and then I think sort of each week, or as I feel like I'm getting through it, but I kind of try and stick to $50 a week, I will pull it from this hold envelope that I keep at the house in a safe place, and then that one goes in my wallet. Same deal with groceries. We are doing $200, $50 for the wallet, and $150 for hold. There we go. So yeah, this is just sort of a way that I set it up, so I just feel a little bit more secure, so I've not got so much cash on myself. So that is those sections done. So eating out, groceries. Now miscellaneous, oh actually first is my cat. She gets $40. So I'll pop that in. That's just for her food and her litter. Her name is Missy, so that's why we have Missy written on the little envelope that I keep in my wallet. And then miscellaneous, I have $80. So $50, $60, $70, $80. For whatever reason, I always try and spend the old bills before I spend the new bills. I don't know, I just like the new bills, they're much nicer. So I always try and spend the old bills and then put the newer bills in my sinking funds. It's a bit random, but anyway, that's what I do. So yeah, 50, 60, 70, 80 for miscellaneous. So this is just like some things that I buy throughout the month. I pull from the sinking fund directly when it comes to experiences or gifts or like toiletries. However, there might be other expenses that I haven't specifically put in the budget, and that's what the miscellaneous section is for. So I know that I'm going to get my screen of my phone replaced, or like the screen protector replaced rather, this month, so that will come out of this little miscellaneous section. So anyway, those are all of the ones that go in my wallet. I really like these envelopes, although they have started to like fall apart a bit because they are quite small and I use them a lot, and I did a pretty dodgy job when I made them, but you know, it's all right, it's working for now. So that is my wallet done with those expenses. So let's just tick these off, cat and miscellaneous. So let's jump into the sinking funds. So first one I have is travel. Now this one I'm saving up about $1,000, maybe just a bit under, to do a little trip to Melbourne with one of my friends. So I'm trying to beef that up, I don't know, add extra to that sinking fund at the moment. So you'll see that I have already pre-filled these cards, which is kind of what I do just because I don't want to do that on camera because I feel like it would just take too long. So we're going to be adding, what is it, 310 to this sinking fund. So 100, 200, 310. So that will give me a total of 420. So I don't honestly know if I'm even going to be able to go on this trip, just because currently the borders to Victoria, because I wanted to go to Melbourne with a friend, are closed for New South Wales. So I might not even be able to do that. However, I am saving up for it regardless. And I have already bought a flight and an Airbnb, because at the time when I did that, the borders were open, but they've closed again because of this COVID stuff. I can't really keep up. However, I haven't taken that out of the fund. I want to fully fund it first and then pay myself back when it comes to the month where I actually spend it, because I might actually end up having to cancel these and then get the money back, and I just thought it would be easier to put this little sticky note on and keep a track of it that way. Experiences, I will be adding 55. So where are we with experiences? Oh, it still has some left, so that means I have a total of 130 in there, and like you can see that I've already filled in the little index card to keep a track of it. I just think it's a very useful way, yeah, just so you can see where the spendings are going, and you can also, especially if you are trying to also build up the sinking fund, then you also can keep a little track of it. The next is moving. So I am flying out at the end of February. I'm going to America, so I am working quite hard to put some money towards this fund as well, because this is the one that I'm probably gonna have to spend quite a bit in. I know I already have to spend like $120 for blood tests for the school I'm going to, and then like transport and hotels around when I travel, because I'm probably gonna I have to go down to Sydney, whereas I live up in Byron Bay, so I'll have to get yeah, I have to get a hotel the night before I fly, like just different things like this. So I'm working towards that. I don't really know, I haven't really sat down and figured out how much I want in this fund, but I'm just trying to put in quite a bit so that I have that buffer for when I do come to move. So that's now got 260 in it. Self-care, we've got 20 to add. So that brings that to 45. This is a category where I haven't really decided specifically what I'm doing with it. Like last month I got a foot peel just because I kind of felt like doing that. It kind of wasn't really worth it, but that was $16. So I took that out of self-care. But yeah, it's just like maybe I want to get a massage sometime, or I want to go to the spa with my friends. That's sort of what I am saving for there. Clothing, I have got 60. But I will be adding 40, so that gives me 100 for clothing. This is, I know I'm on a low buy for 2021. I'm not really planning specifically to buy a lot of clothing. However, I am moving to upstate New York. I am going to need a winter jacket, so that is kind of what I'm saving for with this one. Because once I get to America, you'll see my income is, I'm gonna be on a stipend check. Just for very basic expenses. So I think it's about $230 American dollars a month. And I'm not going to be able to afford some of the things that I will need when I move there. So that's why I'm adding a bit to some of these sinking funds already. Toiletries, I'm just adding 10 to, so that gives me 30. And what do we got next? We got gifts for 85. So 50, 60, 70, 85. Now I think this one is actually one where I'm paying myself back. Yes, it is. So I overspent in gifts in the month of December of like $16. So I'm going to add 85, but actually I'm going to be paying myself back 15 of that. I know it's like not perfect because there's always a few dollars off here and there. So that will go, so that means for like carrying on now, I have $70 for gifts for the month of January. I probably won't spend that. I'm sort of just building that one up at the moment. And then the $15 goes in my little metaphorical bank. So that's sort of how I do it when I'm paying myself back. Or if I spend anything on my card from my sinking funds, I then just take it out of the envelope and I put it into here, which is the bank folder. So this is where I just have excess cash. Yeah, instead of me like putting it back in the bank or whatever, I just keep it out so I'm not doing lots of runs backwards and forth. It's just a system that I find quite helpful. The next is health. So I'm going to be doing 100 and 60, 70, 80. So I'm getting into quite small bills now. I think I have more small bills than I actually needed this month. Oh well. So that means I have 270 for health. So that's pretty good. I like to have a little bit in there just because I sometimes, my back just like goes a bit wild and I have to go see the physio a lot. So it's a good one just to have some backup in. So that is health done. And then we've got my car. So this sinking fund I'm actually going to dissolve because I'm flying out the 25th of February. My registration and all that doesn't happen until March. And I'm not going to do that because I'm obviously not going to be in the country. If someone else wants to use my car, that can be up to them. They can do it. Like I'm leaving it for a few people if they felt like it. So I'm going to be getting rid of this fund because there's kind of no point to have it if I'm not going to be spending it. And there was $30 in there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the $30 into miscellaneous. So I'm adding an extra $5 for this month. And I'm just putting it there so like, you know, look, if anything was to come up with the car that maybe I needed to help contribute to, which I doubt it, then I can just pull from this fund. But yeah, I don't know. It just didn't make sense that I keep like stuffing it, even though I've only been doing like, yeah, obviously I've only stuffed like $10 last month and $20 the month before. Yeah, I just thought there's kind of no point in keeping that as a sinking fund. So anyway, miscellaneous now has 70, and I know that I have two miscellaneouses because I have the one that's obviously in my wallet, and then I have this one. This is more for like, it's kind of, I guess, also going to become a bit of an emergency fund, although I do have a lot of savings just because, you know, as you can tell, like I'm making a lot of money. But yeah, I just like to have a miscellaneous category. You never know what's not pre-planned for in your budget. So that is that one. And then laptop is getting the rest here, which is 10, 20, 35. Like I said before, my laptop is working well. However, it is a 2012 model, I believe. So it's kind of ready to give up on me at any point. So I am slowly but surely saving for that. So that's now got 75 in it. So there we go. That is all of my sinking fund stuffed. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's going to be interesting to see what I'm going to do. I have to figure out what I'm going to do actually in regards to changing over currencies, because obviously I'm going to be going to the States and then there's no point in having Australian cash. So I'm going to have to change it into American cash, and then yeah, it's going to be totally different because I'm going to be making such a different amount of money. Because I'm not really making anything. It's just like a stipend, a check, just to like cover a few expenses, because everything's covered with the study program and what I'm going to be doing. So yeah, I don't know. I'll talk about that later when I figured it out myself, but that's going to be a new change in probably February or March. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!